thank you all for coming here this morning. It's a pleasure to be moderating this first panel with such interesting and insightful gentlemen that we're going to hear from. A word of note, I was very interested last night to watch a plucky, isolated, cold island in the north of Europe lose to Iceland. It was a real pleasure to see that happen. And I please, as Europeans, hold us tightly, because we need looking after. Yeah, Katarzyna just asked then, are we there yet? And how do we go that distance? Roman, how close are we to getting there? And how do we make sure we get there quicker?
This question from Kasia was so simple, yeah. And I think that the problem is that we are not able to solve it so quickly, unfortunately. Where we are today, I think that looking for the slides, and thank you very much, Jacek, that you have shown all of us the slides also about Poland, where we are today. It happened during some years ago. First of all, we should be all proud of, really, and congratulations to ourselves, because this was our achievement. But this is the today perspective. And as we know from the business, doing the business, we know that everything what happened yesterday or even today, that doesn't matter, unfortunately. So the main question is really how to take the tomorrow view about being also as Poland, exactly the same as we have been so many years. I think two targets group. First of all, definitely politics rulers. Kasia was mentioning about it. And second, business leaders and business rulers, definitely. Because one thing that we need to take into consideration quite deeply is that world is changing, and this obvious message is so obvious that sometimes we are forgetting that it's really true. And even Poland has done fantastic job during the years, and during even today, the economy, especially the economy, we are running quite good, the GDP, unemployment, and everything. But we are not the only place that the other investors would like to be, with full respect to ourselves. Also, Central Europe, which is developing quite fast, not only Poland, but also our neighbors, also is not the place that's only one that the investor can put it their own money.
Sure.
So we need to take really seriously what we have heard from CEO of Capgemini, anytime, anywhere, not only here. And this is the big target for the rulers, business and politics. As Kasia said, I think, again, first of all, to create the society, to create the business environment that can give us the chance to do the business here, the companies that are already in Poland, and to be the good ambassadors, not from the marketing perspective, but from the reality perspective. It's a good place to be here, but also a big challenge in front of the business.
Paweł, if I may, do you recognize what Kasia was saying in that speech? Are you a glass half full guy or a glass half empty guy in terms of Poland's current position and its competitive advantages?
Good morning. I'm pleased to be here today in Katowice. You started from Euro 2016, so maybe
we don't want to talk about that.
Make some comparison with Polish football team. They were quite successful so far. Were in the quarterfinals.
They haven't played Iceland yet. You've got to watch out for them. They're pretty good.
But I hope we will meet Iceland in finals. So, but as you eat, the appetite is growing. So we would like to be in the finals. And the same is, I think, in terms of the economy. In global competitiveness report, Poland is on the 41 place. Probably you would like to be top 10, top 20. So this is a big aspiration, but you have to have this vision and trying to get there. And of course, you don't do that without transforming ourselves. And I think this is very much about still the culture of Polish business, risk-taking, acceptance of failures, human capital. Our R&D to GDP is 1%. We need to double this. Our productivity is 2/3 of European Union average. The human capital is relatively low, so we need to work on that. And of course this requires leadership on the micro level, it required proper leadership on the macro level, so to create proper incentives. I must say that in Polish Development Fund we take very much serious the notion of the conference of transforming ourselves, and we would like to completely reshape the institutions which are responsible for supporting development in Poland, taking also a lot from the business, building the institutions which should be a kind of bridge between administration and the business, trying to support it in different dimensions, whether they are innovation, venture capital market, whether this is export financings, export insurance, whether it is promotion or proper project management of big contracts for foreign companies going into Poland. We need to professionalize this type of services. Current successful strategies are not about products or institutions or distributions. They are about clients, proper segmentations and solutions, as it was discussed today. And this is the same with Polish development institutions. They're very much focused inside. We're not focused on the client's needs. We would like to change this and provide rather complete solutions in different areas when we work. What is also important, we have to see the development process more horizontally. So we need to focus on some key global trends, whether it is Internet of Things, green economy, circular economy, digitalization. We need to understand these processes and also transform the business, also the administration, to properly confront with these challenges, because this environment, which is fragile, is transforming very quickly.
Fantastic, thank you. Edwin, as someone who's represents a company that's invested a lot here and is part of this economy, which competitive advantages do you think Poland is selling well, and which ones do you think they could put more effort into selling? Which ones do you think that we're underappreciated?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. As you might know, ArcelorMittal is today more than 10 years represent in Poland. We have around 15,000 people working in Poland for more than 10 years, also here in the Katowice region. Since the last 7 years, we also have a well-established shared service organization in Poland. And we are extremely happy as a company, as a group, to participate in the Polish economy and also to be part in the Polish culture and to contribute to that. So I want to start with that. But the key question is, what does it take to basically stay attractive for companies like ArcelorMittal, but also for other foreign investors? I do not want to talk too much about the political aspects, which are very important, or the infrastructural aspects, which are very important. I also do not want to touch too much right now on robotics. We all know that it will be a big game changer. I think if we do not understand that today, then we basically miss already the boat. What I think is important, and I really wanted to share it here on stage, and which is for us, ArcelorMittal, really a key driver, are the people from Poland, and also the willingness and the ability from the people in Poland to transform themselves. If I compare our group 10 years ago, a little bit more than 10 years ago, when we acquired the steel operations in Poland, and also when I compared with 7 years ago when we started the shared service operation, there are tremendous changes achieved by the people in Poland, by the workers in the mill and also the colleagues in the shared service operation. And that drive of changing and adapting to the new world, to the modern technologies, is also something what we should continue to do in Poland. We cannot be happy today where we are standing. We always need to do better. And I always like to compare it with sports. I love sports. I do not want to talk about soccer. I'm from the Netherlands, so I think you know the position. So congrats to all. But what is for me very important is that when we look to the next 5-10 years and we also understand what's going on in the globe, we should realize that Poland is not a stand-alone country and a stand-alone economy. Other countries around you, not only in Europe, not only in Central Europe, also in Asia, also in the US and the Americas, they're also developing. They're not sitting still. So my key message for transforming is that, okay, we need to keep a very, very good eye on the developments. We need to understand what's going on. We need to also plan and make a vision for the next 5-10 years. And we need to ensure, and now I come back to the people issue, we need to ensure that our people are also aligned to that. And it starts with education. When the kids are young, ensure that the young kids are ready for the world tomorrow. That also applies for the universities. Make sure that if I look to the services industry, that's also where the conference is mostly about. We know that 7-8 years ago, or when the start of the shared service centers was there, the focus was on transactional, routine-based of activities in Poland. And the main rationale, and also for us, was at the time cost.
Yeah.
Cost is today not the main driver anymore. The real value comes out of productivity, comes out of added value for the business. Which also means that we need to adopt new ways of working, but also not only to adopt, but also to be proactively develop and push those innovations. And I believe, looking back to the last 10 years, that ArcelorMittal is in Poland, and the willingness and basically the way the people transform themselves, I'm also convinced that we are able to do that towards the future, and Poland stays a very attractive country for us. However, if we are satisfied today and we believe we are there already, then I can tell you within the next 5 years you will be way behind.
Thank you. Roman, but both you and Edwin have now mentioned this issue of, Poland has competitors, and Poland isn't an island, and there's other places for money to go. Do you think currently the government and even the industry is doing enough to sell the positive story of Poland, or do you think it's being clouded by other issues?
Challenging question. No, I am sure that the answer should be no, as always. And this is not that I am unhappy what's going on today, but from the business perspective and from our activity, when we are saying, we are starting to think that we are doing well and enough, that means it's the first step to have troubles. So this is my clear reaction. Yeah, we should do more. We should do more. And what does it mean? I think that, to be honest, sometimes we need to be clear with the message. Right now I am talking about the politicians that are creating the environmental, even we would like to talk about it or not, it is important message to all of us in the business. So we need to be careful, we need to understand that the message should be at least the same, at least close to each other, the really politics message and the business message. This is one thing. But the other issue is that we should expect even more from the business, from ourselves right now, I am saying. That means when we are doing the business here and we are happy and we are making money and we think that we are very well established, we need to remember that future is the question. So by thinking about ourselves, we need to also be clear and to think about the society where we are doing the business. I will share with you with our Skanska approach to this. Right now we are launching the business plan, new business plan 2020. And one of the main motto there is profit with purpose. Profit because, of course, we are responsible towards our shareholders, and we need to remember we are the private company. We need to fight to survive every day. I am saying doesn't matter how big we are. This is the reality. But at the same time, if you are really thinking long term, which Skanska do, and I think a lot of serious companies, serious businesses think long-term perspective, we need to remember that we are responsible for the society where we are doing this business. Not only being passive and only to create the expectations. And it's a lot of things that we can really put it together and to help ourselves and the society to be better.
Thank you. Edwin, if you can be really brief, we're just running out of time and I want to give Paweł a chance to respond.
Really brief to connect to that. I think indeed it's not only as foreign investor to put an expectation to Poland. I really think that we have to support and really proactively drive also those changes. I come back to the people side, to the education side. We as foreign investors really need to be actively involved with the local educational system and institutions to also help them adopting to the requirements for the next 5-10 years.
Yeah. Paweł, just to give you the final word, I mean, it seems like the fears are complacency and not enough consistency. Are these, do people understand that in your space? Are these worries that you have too? making sure there's consistency of message and there's no complacency?
Of course, I think that we need to work on the investment story for Poland. I spent a lot of time talking with investors. I was responsible for investor relations and investment for many years, and it has to be consistent. And I think on the macro level, the fundamentals, long term and short terms, are very strong. Of course, a lot has to be done to improve still these fundamentals. So whether these are inclusive institutions, whether it's proper procurement law or better contract enforcement, we need to work on proper promotion, because a lot of currently ministries, agencies have this own logo, for example. Yeah? So a lot have to be professionalized, but I believe that in long perspective, Poland delivers very strong investment story and could attract very good investment, and with more value added, which is a crucial currently for the competitiveness of the economy.
Thank you. Gentlemen, we could talk for hours, I'm sure, but we've run out of time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. A round of applause to the panel.